Now, we have now confirmed the police have in fact arrested the man who was accused of flashing a mother and her daughter on a TriMet bus earlier this month.
And we found out that suspect has a long history of offenses.
Right. Tim Becker joins us now. And Tim, you spent the day digging into that record?
Yeah, Kelly, that and finding out why he was still out on the street given his long criminal past. Turns out when he was convicted for his first sex crime may be part of the reason he was out on the prowl again.
So the problem would be he can only be a 6.
Former prosecutor Jim McIntyre tells me sentencing guidelines limit how long sex offenders like Carl Diekmiller are locked up.
With murderers, you can get life sentences. With sex offenders, you can't get life sentences, despite what the public wants.
Okay, Mr. Diekmiller, you've been charged by the district attorney with public indecency, felony level.
We found out Diekmiller has a list of felony sex offenses, from first-degree sodomy and sexual abuse to public indecency that go back to 1994. That's 1 year before Measure 11 came along, giving stronger sentences for sex crimes. McIntyre tells me that partly explains why he's only spent a total of 9 years in prison.
Reviewing the record and seeing the number of violations, one of the problems is within the probation or parole term, no matter how many times you violate, you still don't extend the terms past a certain amount.
I also learned Diekmiller completed his court-mandated supervision by Multnomah County last July.
Realistically, everybody's human, and if a human being can outlive their sentences in supervision, then that's, I think, where we're going to end up.
McIntyre says if lawmakers and the courts wanted to allow for active lifetime supervision of sex offenders, it might change things. Until that happens, though, criminals like Diekmiller are more likely to be repeat offenders.
He's out there because the system finally ran out of options for supervision because legally there was no way to hold him or maintain any further supervision.
So Diekmiller has been charged now with 1 felony count of public indecency and then 4 other lesser crimes, including interfering with public transportation. We're, of course, going to follow his case and let you know how long he's going to be locked up for this time.
But this is the hot button issue with folks. When they see someone with a record and it just keeps going, repeat offenses, riding the buses, it just gets people really hot. Why do they continue to do it?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the supervision and or lack thereof and the staffing, not only the number of people, but how closely they can keep an eye on these guys.
Okay, keep track of it for us, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.